Hey everybody, happy end of semester. My name is Josh and I'm going to be presenting Hampstead Animal Hospital and a couple of problems they've been having there. Um, as you can see, I got a green screen behind me just because I know, self-presentation is important and I can't have you guys seeing the mess back there. But we'll just get right into this and talk to you a little bit about the background. And so it's located right off the intersection of Highway 210 and Highway 17. It's right next to the Atlantic Seafood Retail. It opened up in 2013. Her name is Dr. Bradley. She was a traveling vet before she started this practice, and she has two managers, one being her husband and another one being Dr. G. He's also a vet. And then this is going to be the most amount of employees she's ever had, 10 this fall, and that's counting part-time and full-time, even the maintenance workers on there. And so a little background that I got was actually from a source inside the animal hospital that was helping me collect information about all what was going on and the types of problems that they were having. And so a big hook for her was the discounts in the vet, that being treatment and medicine. She has a lot of animals, and the boss herself is really nice. Dr. Bradley is a really nice boss, and the scheduling there, it couldn't be better. They really make their own hours there. So if you request a certain, just give them enough time, and they'll get it to you. They'll give it to you. Um, but a couple of the bad things were the negative reviews. Of course, that's going to shut a lot of people and make them not want to come in. Even though they may be old, they've never been addressed. So that's a really big issue. They The lack of social media, and we'll get into this a little bit later. But there's no Instagram, no Facebook even, and it's been out. It started in 2013, so it's been a long time. And then a big issue, the big takeaway is the lack of communication. There's a big disconnect between the front of house and the actual doctors there, and we'll get into it a little bit later. But the doctors take a lot of time off, and sometimes there's not even a doctor to come see the clients, and that's why you get a lot of these negative reviews on the website, or sorry, on Google or Yelp. That's why you'll get a lot of these negative reviews. Um, So analyzing the problem really isn't a big issue because you can look at the Google reviews, you can look at reviews on Indeed of people that used to work there, and you can see that there is a big disconnect between the staff and the employees. Because a lot of times you'll get an issue when the two doctors, Dr. G and Dr. Bradley, are going to have to go out of town. Sometimes they have conferences, and sometimes that's not effectively communicated to the employees, and thus the employees aren't effectively communicating that to the clients. So a lot of the times you'll get clients that'll come in expecting, a doctor to be there, and there's no one. There's no one. There's just the front of house receptionists, and then there's some tech vets, some techs in the back that are properly equipped to take care of those dogs or cats. Um, so that's why we see a lot of this client unhappiness, and that's going to lead to these poor reviews, and that's going to lead to them taking their anger out on the front of house staff when it's really not all their fault. And a majority of the staff is going to be, people in high school, people in college. They don't want to deal with this, and so they're looking for another job. And the only reason I know this is because the doctors come into where I work, and they talk to me about some of these problems, and that's why I reached out to some of these employees to get their insight, so I can kind of see it from both sides. These conferences are important for sponsors and to get better ingredients in medicine in their vet, but I also see it from the staff's point of view. Like there should be a middle there where they can effectively communicate these issues. So when we look at ways to define, generate, and decide, implement, and evaluate these ideas, defining was looking at the Google reviews, interviewing these employees, past and present, and then talking to the doctors and getting their perspective on all this. And then generating these ideas is sitting down with the staff and actually figuring out why these clients aren't happy. How can we solve this issue? And then deciding what steps to take to cover as many problems as possible with a couple simple solutions. Um, and then implementing these solutions And then of course, you want to implement it in a way so that the staff is going to be involved, and then you get the client's perspective, and that's when we evaluate. Adding things where the client can leave on the way out and hit a review, hit a good, bad review score would be awesome. And and so next we got, and so we have a modified Gantt chart. Of course, it's going to be over the course of a couple weeks, so we want to try and get as much done as possible. So the week one, we want to emphasize learning. So during their lunch, hopefully the doctors are able to pay for their lunches so they can get some hands-on experience from some experts in the field. This is going to help the techs in the front house, and then ultimately help the clients. It's going to raise client happiness if everyone is kind of on the same page and knows what's going on. And that goes into creating a group chat. Of course, this is, this could probably be done in a day, but this is being lenient. And so you really just want everyone on the same page. And that's going to be a lot easier if everyone's in the same group chat. So if you have someone call out, it's not one person texting a bunch of different people. It's just one group chat. Hey, I'm out of work, texting in the group chat, and then hopefully someone's going to pick up, and that's going to make things a lot more easier. And then week three, scheduling big regular meetings is going to be important. I know in the past they've had some issues. I know the last meeting they've had was almost a year ago, and that's where they saw an uptick in the turnover rate because the meeting wasn't run very well. It went over time, and the objectives were hit, but there weren't a lot of objectives, and so it just turns into a just a one-sided conversation where it's the boss talking to the staff and the staff not having any input. So hopefully we can work that out over the course of a couple weeks. And then last week we want to build some camaraderie between the staff, and that's going to help client happiness because everyone's going to be on the same page. Everyone's going to want to work together because they know these guys out of work now. They're a little bit more relaxed with making friends. And but of course, I'm making this presentation in the future, so I kind of already know what happened, and so we'll talk about that right now. So a couple of big updates did happen for Hampstead Animal Hospital. Some of them for the better, like the group chat. A group chat was made, and that's going to streamline the process. It's going to make things a lot simpler. It's going to keep everybody on the same page, and it has been for the most part. The lunch and learns have been going well. Everyone's had their lunch paid for. They get really good pizza or they go to get a really good sandwich. They have a lot of local spots around that they can get food from, and they've been getting a lot of on-the-job experience, and getting paid for it. So that's really good, and it's going to emphasize teamwork a lot. A lot of things have been happening. They've been getting a lot more positive reviews on their Google, and Yelp reviews have been good. We can see they've made a Facebook, and I know they're working on hopefully keeping that up. And uh, they're in the works of creating a website. I know that that's gonna be huge if they create a website because you ask right now on Facebook like, hey, what's a good vet in the Hampstead area? You're gonna see people that ask for Topsail Animal Hospital, or Pet Health of Hampstead. You're rarely gonna see anybody that's gonna say, Hampstead Animal Hospital, just because of those negative reviews. That's what people are going to read first, because they're just a lot more in depth and they really show the big issues. And hopefully down the road, those are addressed and commented on and fixed in the future. But last to touch on are these team meetings. There was another team meeting. It kind of just reflected the previous team meeting. So it went on for far too long, and not a lot of the front of house got to speak up on the matter. It was really just the managers and the owner. I don't want to say criticizing. I want to say criticizing the front of house and the techs for not getting their job done, even when these front of house staff are going above and beyond sometimes, and doing what other people would normally be doing. So that's just one small issue, but that's led to an uptick in the turnover rate. Unfortunately, I've heard a couple people are trying to leave again, and whether that be just because the semester's almost over. A lot of these people are college students. Maybe they're just transferring. You never know. But nonetheless, you do see another. We're gonna expect another uptick in turnover, unfortunately. All right, but that's really it, guys. This was just an extracurricular class for me. I'm getting my associates. This is it. This is my last semester. I'm getting my associates. But I think this class has really taught me a lot about problem solving, and I think it's going to help in the future. And especially writing that paper. That I haven't written a 5-page paper in a long time because I'm a cybersecurity. That's my associates. Just looking at hardware and networking. So I do not write a lot. So that was a shock, but it has been a pleasure, guys. I'm going to learn a lot in the future. I've learned a lot now. Learning the processes of these mental blocks. I think it's going to help open me up to a lot of different, solutions in the future. But you guys take care and have a good Christmas break, guys. Happy holidays. See ya.